Is that it?
What do you mean that's it? The Preds failed to win a game when they got crucial help on the out-of-town scoreboard.
I mean, this high-powered Florida Panthers offense that somehow in the last week was able to overcome a 4-goal deficit against New Jersey, a 4-goal deficit against Toronto, and rally back against Buffalo. They only got 2 past Saros. I wish the Preds were in the Eastern Conference. We could take these guys.
Preds lose 4-1 to the Florida Panthers Saturday night inside Bridgestone Arena. Despite getting some solid help on the out-of-town scoreboard earlier on Saturday, thank you, New Jersey Devils, the Preds failed to capitalize and get any closer to trying to lock down a playoff spot. But fortunately for them, they can get right back on the horse Sunday afternoon and hopefully set this ship back right again against a former foe that has some history with the Preds. Preds on the first half of a back-to-back playing against a Florida Panthers team that just so happens to be playing on the second half of a back-to-back. The first of 4 sets of back-to-back for the month of April for the Preds, which are all going to be crucial, including a back-to-back that finishes off the last 2 days of the regular season. New Jersey Devils worked miracles with 2 goals with less than 90 seconds left to go in regulation in a game earlier Saturday against Dallas. So you were hoping that Nashville could at least get a point out of this game to put a little bit more distance between them and Dallas. This is the second and last meeting of the regular season unless these 2 teams faced off in the Stanley Cup final, Preds Nation. And if you remember back in late February when these 2 teams faced off in South Florida, the Preds rallied from trailing the Panthers in that game and beat them in regulation, giving the Panthers one of their few home losses they have suffered at home this season. So the Preds know that they have the ability and the talent to beat this Panthers team. Teams finding their feet under them early. Anthony Duclair of the Panthers had one of the great chances early for either team. He has a clean-cut breakaway on UC Saros, but UC Saros is able to slide his pad over and keep it out. Unfortunately, soon after that breakaway by Anthony Duclair, delayed penalty on Alexander Carrier, the Panthers keep the puck. The Preds can't gain possession of it, so they can get a whistle, as happened to the Preds a few times this season on delayed penalties. Montour gets the puck over to Carter Behege. He beats Saros. No need for the penalty kill. Panthers already lead. Not even 4 minutes into this one, 1-0. Fortunately, though, the Preds do not let that goal get them down. Alexander Carey makes up for his mistake in the Panthers zone. He starts the playoff. He gets it to Forsberg. Forsberg goes behind the net. Quickly, he sees his buddy, his line mate, the man who's been hot as of late, Ryan Johansson. Forsberg gets it right out front to him before Spencer Knight, who's in net for the Panthers, can even react. It's behind him. 1-1. During the first TV timeout, very nice tribute on the scoreboard above that Bally Sports South also played for those watching the game at home. Former Pred Paul Correa did a nice tribute congratulating Preds captain Roman Josi for passing him for most points in a season as a Pred. I can still remember the summer of 2005. Yes, for those who may not believe that I've been a fan of this team since day one, I can still remember the summer of 2005, how happy I was to hear the news that Paul Correa had been signed from the Preds during that lockout season once the deal with the players had been negotiated. Believe it or not, low shot total as we reach the second half of the first period. With about 7.5 minutes left in the first period, the Preds were out shooting the Panthers by a measly 4-2. 6 minutes left to go in the first period. The Preds would take their first penalty of the game. Matthias Ekholm for holding newly acquired Panther Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers. And though the Flyers had some good chances, UC Saros was up to the task and kept this game tied at 1. With 6 minutes left to go in the first period, it would be the Preds who would commit the first penalty of the game. A cross-check by Mattias Ekholm on newly acquired Panther Claude Giroux from the Philadelphia Flyers, and though the Panthers would get some good looks, some good chances on UC Saros number 74, kept this game tied at 1. With about 3 minutes left to go in the first period, Luke Kunin took exception to a hit by Radko Gudas on Nick Cousins of the Preds. And let's be honest here, the hit was clean. Every time one of your teammates gets hit, you don't have to go in there looking for a scrap, because what happens a lot of times, if you're not careful, especially if the other guy doesn't want to fight right away, you get an instigator penalty. And fortunately, even though both got the fighting major assessed and Cunning got the instigator, it didn't cost the Preds because the Panthers didn't score against them. I appreciate Cunning standing up for his teammates, but there's better ways to go about that if you want to send a message back. Lay out a big hit. You don't have to go in there looking for a fight when that could end up costing you on a scoreboard. Preds would earn a power play with under 2 minutes left to go in the first period. They wouldn't score on it. The power play would carry over to the second period. Period ends 1-1. And yeah, at that point, you could be very satisfied with the way the Preds had played, only being tied 1-1, not trailing the Panthers with such a dangerous offense that they have in their arsenal. Early in the second period, let this first chance by the Panthers be an example that even though the Panthers only got 25 shots on net, if it wasn't for UC Saros, the 4-1 score doesn't count because 2 of the goals would end up being empty netters. If it wasn't for UC Saros, this game would have been over early. Preds still had a power play, but somehow Ryan Johansson coughs a puck to Lestarian of the Panthers, which develops into a 2-0 as he gets it over to Huberdeau, who wasn't totally ready and had full control of it, allowing UC Saros to stretch over and make the save, and the Preds somehow escape unscathed. And right after that, the Preds take it the other way, still on the power play. Philip Forsberg with a great chance, and he rings off the crossbar. Soon after that play, you've got Jeremy Lauzon, who I think is finally becoming to be accepted by Preds Nation. Yeah, maybe the second round pick was a little high for him, but he is fitting in quite nicely on that Preds blue line. Well, on another chance, Forsberg gets it to him, and he has a great chance right in front of Spencer Knight, but he can't beat him. Preds would get their chances. 5.5 minutes into the second period, you've got Colton Sissons with the no-look pass to Mark Borieski, who can't beat Spencer Knight. 7 minutes into the middle frame, Philip Forsberg here, yes, great chance to get him 1 goal closer to 40. Clean cut breakaway on Spencer Knight, who keeps him the whole way and makes the pad save, keeping this game 1-1. What did the Preds have to do to get another goal by this Panthers goalie? Panthers would have their chances too, and if not for UC Saros' 2 best friends behind him, maybe at this chance, the Panthers would have taken the lead here because Montour beats Saros, but it brings off of both posts and stays out. Just over 8.5 left in the second period. Former Pred Patrick Hornquist boards Matt Duchene, and for some reason, it's not a 5-minute major, which I argue that it could have been. It's only 2, and the Preds still failed to score. How could they not get 1 goal past Spencer Knight in that second period when he had 14 shots on goal? And when you don't score in prime opportunities at one side of the ice, eventually it's going to cost you at the other end. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the second period, Lundell gets the pass along the left wing board to the right of Saros. Mattias Ekholm with a weak play. I know he can be better than this. Lets Lundell get by him, and I know Saros is a little shorter. I'm not going to blame his height on this going in. Lundell is picture perfect with the snipe. Gets it just over Saros' right shoulder, just below the bar. Not much Saros could have done better on that play to keep it out rather than expose other areas of the net. The puck is in. Panthers have retaken the lead 2-1. Reds defend well with time winding down in the second period from allowing the Panthers to take a 2-goal lead in this game. Late in the second period, probably the highlight of the game for Preds fans, despite the team losing. Uyghur stops up and primes himself like he's ready to take down the big ox, the big tree number 84. And Tanner Jeannot is like, what are you, new? And shoves him with little to disregard. Beautiful. Time winds down in the second period. Panthers still lead after 40-1. Preds go to work in the third period, trying to get the tying goal and square this game at even again. Preds and Panthers exchange chances through the first few minutes of the game. Panthers showing the Preds they're going to have to show their A effort in this game if they want any chance of at least 1 point. Preds with a great chance at one end as Cousins gets it out to Luke Cunningham and he's stopped by Spencer Knight, followed up by Montador at the other end and he's robbed by UC Saros. Under 7 minutes into the third period, Panthers creating some chances, trying to get that insurance goal, and it doesn't help the Preds when Luke Cunningham takes an interference call on Patrick Hornquist. Not Luke Cunningham's best game as of late in a Preds uniform, but fortunately for Luke Cunningham, his teammates bail him out, they kill the penalty, and the Preds stay only down by 1 still. Under 9 minutes left to go in the game. Loose puck that comes into the Panthers zone. Spencer Knight comes out all the way to play. He misplays it. It goes over to number 59. Roman Josi, the captain. He had the ref right there with him. He's got a defender on him. Maybe he felt a little pressure, but if he had waited just a little bit longer and Spencer Knight is trying to scramble back into the net, I'm sure Roman Josi could have taken a deep breath and just found a right angle, but he forces the shot that goes wide and hits the right side of the net. Panthers still leading this one. And it was such a great opportunity to tie this game. Preds push with about 6 minutes left to go, but can't execute the tying goal. 3 minutes left to go in regulation. The Preds haven't pulled Saros as of yet. And they're creating some chances, but they can't get the puck to settle down for them so they can get the right angle on the shots on Spencer Knight. Preds pull Saros a tad over 2 minutes left to go in regulation, and despite a mad crash in the Panthers net trying to see if any loose puck they could get by him or lift over a fallen Spencer Knight, doesn't work. Puck comes the other way, and despite a couple of great opportunities for Roman Josi to try and save the game and play goal, the Panthers would score on the empty net, first by Jonathan Huberdeau, making it 3-1, and then later when the Preds would pull Saros again, Gustav Forsling puts this game out of reach for good with another empty netter. Panthers win the game 4-1. Well, all in all, at the end of the day, I guess the moral victory that the Preds players and the fan base can feel after losing this game is that despite the Panthers being known for their high-powered offense, the Preds only allowed the Panthers to score 2 goals when a goalie was in the net. The Panthers only had 25 shots on goal for the entire game. And the Panthers failed to score on their power play and didn't get a shorthanded goal against the Preds when killing off a penalty. Despite Ekholm's weak attempt with Lindell on the eventual game-winning goal, overall a solid performance by the Preds defense. Same cannot be said for the Preds offense. Only 25 shots on goals, guys. No power play goals to show for your effort after the strong performance against Minnesota on Tuesday and Ottawa on Thursday. And when you're down by a goal going into the third period at home, you cannot skate by on 5 shots on goal when you're trying to tie the game in your whole building. Now you hop on a plane for Pittsburgh for a game Sunday afternoon against the Penguins, who are also going to be pissed off because they lost at home against the Capitals Saturday afternoon. Perhaps you guys can give a better road performance tomorrow, taking the small victories from Saturday's loss, and prepare yourself for one hell of a gauntlet that you're going to have after tomorrow for the final 10 games of the season, trying to run down one of those wild card spots you're probably going to get because you're not getting any help trying to sneak into the 2-3 matchup in the Central. Lastly, I was really hoping that the Preds would get franchise home victory 500 today against the Panthers, seeing as the Panthers were the very first team the Preds ever played in a regular season game. But all is not lost. There is still 8 more home games left this season. If you really have a tough week and you can't get that 500th home win Tuesday against the Sharks or Thursday against the Oilers, well, there's Big Brother out of a playoff spot coming to town for a matinee game next Saturday. They better be what cures you. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit like if you liked this video. Hit subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. Can't get home win 500 against the first team you ever played in a regular season game? How about you make up for it for all of Preds Nation and yourself by getting a crucial win against a team that made sure you didn't win the cup your first try?